Fergie Jenkins left his stamp on baseball during his award-winning career as a major league pitcher. Now retired, he's still making quite an impression. This country's greatest baseball player of all time is the face of Canada Post's tribute to Black History Month.
Well, I'm pretty proud of that I'm a Canadian, plus the fact that you have your country honor you with a stamp. I think my kids are more excited about it than I am, but I'm doing a lot of tours, a lot of cities for Black History Month.
The stamp is more than a token of appreciation. It's a memorial to those whose personal courage and determination caused them to rise above racial discrimination. Jenkins started his baseball career in the early 60s for the Philadelphia Phillies, then the Chicago Cubs. It was a time when racial segregation was strong and the civil rights movement was starting to take shape. The troubled times affected the ball game too, and Jenkins was one of the first black players to take the mound in Little Rock, Arkansas. What got him through those times? He says it was his own history and the strength of the people who came before him.
The younger generation should know who came before them, like in anything in history. But what's nice about it is if they learn it now, they can be very proud of who they are, of what they are and what their heritage is. And my mother always told me to be proud of my heritage, and that's why I've never changed my citizenship. I've been asked a few times, why haven't you become an American citizen? I said, I'm proud to be a Canadian, and I'm still a Canadian.
Jenkins was born in Chatham, Ontario, and traces his roots to the Underground Railroad, a network that brought former slaves to freedom in some northern American states and Canada. While no longer slaves, there were still a lot of barriers and challenges for these burgeoning black communities north of the border. It's that history that shaped him as a young boy.
Well, the heritage of having Canadians, being black, people of color, coming to Ontario, my family came in the 1800s in the Underground Railroad, my mother's family, Jenkins, Jacksons, and Lucases. And there's been so many stories written and documented, and my first wife was a Henson, a granddaughter of Josiah Henson, that started Uncle Tom's Cabin.
It wasn't just history that shaped him, but faith, something he carries through today.
My mother was Baptist. I was raised a Baptist. I tell people I used to go to church 3 times on Sunday. I taught Sunday school, I sang in the choir, and my mother wanted to go to church in the evenings. It took away from athletics sometimes on Sunday for me, but I didn't mind.
That faith also sustained him in 1991, when he experienced the biggest tragedy of his life.
But when I look back to some of the trials that you have to face in life, you know, I lost a wife and a daughter in a car accident, and I had to go to therapy with my son for about 6 to 8 months, just talking, trying to get things straightened out.
The loss came as he would receive one of the greatest wins of his career, induction into the Baseball Hall of Fame. Instead of retreating into retirement, Fergie Jenkins is now throwing his heart into helping others.
Once I retired, I had a ranch in Ontario, had another ranch in Oklahoma, and then I just thought that there's time to do something else with my life, and we started thinking about charitable golf outings. We started with 1, 2, now we have 3. We have 2 in Ontario at Rockaway Glen and 1 in Arizona, and we're now affiliated with the Arizona Casino, which was, I think, really outstanding. And it brings in celebrities from all different sports, boxing, Olympics, baseball, football, basketball, and a lot of individuals want to pay the money to play with a celebrity.
The Fergie Jenkins Charitable Foundation raises funds for several Canadian charities, which keeps him connected to home. Today he's appearing at Soup Fest, a fundraising event for The Living Rock, a ministry to at-risk youth in Hamilton, Ontario. Among the many bowls of soup, Fergie Jenkins' face stands out. The living legend says his plan is to keep using his face and the story behind it to help others.
As an athlete, you've got time, you're retired. I do a lot of work, and I enjoy it.
In Hamilton, Ontario, Denise Lottie, 100 Huntley Street.